man's inner peace leaks out through preparation long before it shows up in calm. Not through wishful thinking, not through forcing a smile, not through pretending life is gentle, but through how you train your mind to meet reality without being surprised by it. Imagine inner peace, an effortless life, total contentment. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you actually felt that? This goes to the heart of the human condition. In this video, you're going to get a roadmap, 10 strategies for achieving inner peace in the chaotic, stressful real world. Our first technique might surprise you. Many people think you create inner peace by imagining rainbows and perfect outcomes, but that's not what the Stoics taught. To a lot of people, this sounds like a paradox, but the more you sit with it, the more it makes sense. There's an old saying, if you want peace, prepare for war. The Stoic equivalent is, if you want inner peace, imagine difficulties. Most people think you should never imagine difficulties because you'll attract them, but Stoicism says no. Difficulties are coming. There's no way to totally escape them. You don't get peace by denying the storm. You get peace by building a mind that can stand in it. So give yourself permission to imagine difficulties. Imagine meeting someone who's not pleasant today. Imagine your plans being disrupted by circumstances you can't control. Think of Marcus Aurelius, who told himself every morning that he'd meet meddlesome people, ungrateful people, annoying people. An emperor, powerful as any modern head of state, and still he prepared his mind like that. That's just life. When you do this exercise, you prepare yourself to face reality later without panic. It's a mistake to believe that if you make the right choices, life will never be difficult. Life will be difficult. Mentally, you should be prepared. You should train yourself to expect it. Go one step further. Train what you'll do when those conditions appear. Think about what might go wrong today and make plans to deal with it. For example, if you have a packed day, it's easy to lose the time you carefully saved. So imagine your schedule going differently than you wanted, so you can cope with what it might be like if you have less time at the end of the day. Most of the time, you will have less time than you hoped. Preparing for that gives you a measure of peace. If you've ever been caught off guard by life and paid for it emotionally, comment, Hunter. If you do this, then when something difficult happens, you've already mentally stepped into the zone for it. When you've already considered it, you're better prepared if and when it does happen. So the first strategy is to imagine difficulties so when they happen, you're less stressed and more at peace. That brings us to the next point. Things are going to go wrong. That's how life is. Stoicism deals with reality as it is, not how we would like it to be. Our second technique embraces this. It asks you to practice radical acceptance, even when it's hard. Radical acceptance means that once something happens, once it is real, you accept it as something you can no longer change. You have to be careful with this. It doesn't mean you approve of everything. It means you stop wasting energy fighting what has already become reality. Instead of pushing back, which is most people's impulse, sit with it for a moment. Know that frustrating things are going to happen. A clear example is the internet. Right now, there are millions of people who believe foolish things, and you will never be able to convince them all to think better. There are too many of them, and only one of you, and most of us have higher priorities than arguing all day online. That's something you have to accept. You can't change the thoughts of millions on any realistic timeline. The point is to dig into your place in the world and see things as they are. Lots of people will continue to believe foolish things. Your city will have problems. Your country will have problems. Your schedule will get wrecked sometimes. Systems will fail. Plans will break. This goes beyond politics. Bring it into your own life. Many people work hard and still feel like there isn't enough time to relax or enjoy themselves. There are no magic words that remove the natural difficulties of life. Radical acceptance is about seeing how things are and accepting them on that level. That helps because you get less stressed. You recognize what's out of your control, and when you encounter it, you accept instead of fight. That can give you a measure of inner peace. If you've been trying to wrestle the world into behaving, hit like. For example, if you have a hectic schedule and you're always dealing with stress, it can become too much. That costs you your inner peace. That's why our third technique is to build white space into your schedule. Include breaks. Include extra time. In the modern workplace, it's easy to fill 100% of your schedule with tasks. That's a recipe for burnout. You can work hard, but you have to remember there's a limit. There are only 24 hours in a day. Subtract sleep. Subtract basic life maintenance like laundry and chores. The time left is smaller than your ambition wants it to be. So think about how much rest you can carve out. Because you need to rest. Give yourself time to do nothing. Time to be at peace. Downtime is not weakness. Downtime is a requirement. Give yourself empty time to relax, to look out the window, to go for a walk, to exist without a deadline hanging over your head. Look at your schedule and create dead space. You deserve it, and it will help. Now, so far we've talked about circumstances and conditions. Those are real and they'll always exist. The Stoics also talked about things you can't change and things you can. People fall into both categories, but you have to be realistic. You can only change people so much. People have a huge impact on your inner peace. One of the simplest ways to deal better with people is our next technique. Stop trying to change them. Apply this most strongly at the edges of your circle. It's hard to change people who barely know you exist. You can influence the partner you live with the most. Family and close friends a bit less. As you move farther away, be realistic. Don't imagine you can give someone a complete personality makeover, especially if they aren't open to it. Even if they are open, change is usually slow and partial. So stop expecting too much change if it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Lower your expectations to what is realistically possible rather than what you wish would happen. A bigger modern problem is the internet. People look at strangers far away and think they can change them. It's usually hopeless. For people close to you, you can talk and you have some leverage. For people far away, especially hostile ones, consider letting it go. Nobody wins those battles very often, and there are better uses of your energy. You may not be able to change some people, but that doesn't mean you can do nothing. Since people affect your inner peace, it's important to be selective about who has access to you. So if there are toxic people in your life, our next technique is to create boundaries. Talk to them less often. If you must talk to them, make it structured. A weekly phone call that you limit to 15 minutes. If someone stresses you out and you talk to them for an hour every day, bring it down. If you have a difficult coworker, give them the time required, without giving them more. Boundaries reduce stress. Less stress creates more peace. The next technique is related, but it's more personal. Accept that your inner peace may require disappointing some people. Some people want more than you can give. The problem is in the wanting. Either they learn to want less or they'll be disappointed. You have to accept that how you live will displease some people, and that's okay. There is no way to satisfy everyone. You can satisfy some people. Others will be unhappy because they're making demands you can't meet. When you look closely, it isn't fair for people to treat your time like it belongs to them. Your time is yours to distribute, and how you use your time affects your inner peace. That choice is yours. If you distribute your time in a way that improves your peace, some people will be unhappy. Try to be kind, but accept it. They need to adjust. Our next point, to have real inner peace, you have to choose your battles. You don't have infinite energy. You can only change so much. Ration your time so it goes to what deserves it. To get effective at what matters, you have to concentrate. That means doing fewer things outside what you care about. Pick your battles. Pick the few things that are aligned with your values and goals, and let the rest go. Don't let the small things steal your inner peace. You can say this to yourself: I'm here to work on what matters. I accept that other things may go wrong, and that's the cost of doing business. That's what it means to do something well. If you're ready to stop bleeding energy into pointless wars, comment Hunter. Until now, we've talked about difficult realities. Now let's shift to a positive tool that's more powerful than people admit: gratitude. One of the most important practices for inner peace is cultivating gratitude. Think about what makes you happy and practice feeling gratitude toward it. Think about the people who make you happy and practice gratitude toward them. Consider calling them and telling them. Most people want to hear that. It's good for relationships and good for the mind. Gratitude doesn't erase problems. It stops the mind from behaving like a starving animal that can only see what's missing. Another technique is about expectations. Let go of the ideal. Let go of the perfect. We live in a world that asks a lot. For most people, there is no way to do everything to a high standard all the time. If you live in an expensive city, support a family, work multiple jobs, there is no way to do it perfectly. You use your time effectively in a world where you don't know the future. Some plans work, some don't. That's the nature of limits and unpredictability. The trap is becoming too ambitious about perfection. You start thinking you should do everything flawlessly, and then you feel stressed and disappointed when reality doesn't match the fantasy. Of course it won't. You will never make plans that are perfectly expressed in the real world. Make peace with that. You can't change the world to always agree with your plans, but you can change yourself. Hold this thought. Things won't be perfect, but I will do my best, and that is good enough. Our final point has to do with emotions. The suggestion is to process, not suppress. Many of us have strong emotions, desires, ambitions. We want to make money, improve our lives, support our families, create experiences, build something meaningful. Those ambitions can add weight. If we don't process our emotions, they pile up and create stress. One way to lighten the burden is to give your emotions space. Hold them in your heart and hear them out. Often emotions carry information about your progress and your life. If you don't listen, the lesson isn't heard. You miss the chance to adjust and improve. Even if you can't feel everything right now, you will have space eventually. When you do, use it to examine your emotions as a path toward peace. That concludes the roadmap. You're now equipped with 10 strategies to increase inner peace. Use them, and your peace will increase. Let's recap. First, imagine difficulties. Prepare for setbacks so you're less stressed when they occur. Second, practice radical acceptance. Accept what's outside your control. Third, build white space into your schedule. Create buffer time and decompression. Fourth, stop trying to change people, especially those outside your influence. Fifth, create boundaries around toxic people. Sixth, accept disappointment as the trade-off for peace. Seventh, choose your battles. Focus energy where it matters. Eighth, cultivate gratitude. Ninth, let go of perfect. 10th, process emotions instead of suppressing them. Ultimately, inner peace is about having a good relationship with yourself. Stoicism teaches us how to do that, partly by accepting what is, and partly through practices like gratitude and boundaries with people who affect your inner life. If you do these things, you will see a difference. You will see improvement. And from that point on, it's a matter of doing it regularly, better and better, until peace is yours. If this helped, hit like and subscribe if you want the next one.